You're tuned into Cinema Symposium.
And hello everyone, and welcome to this episode of Cinema Symposium. I am Matthew Duvall.
And I'm Blake Warman.
And today we have our first interview with our guest, Ben Hoene.
How's it going?
And we're going to talk about his film, Indian Ben, but before we get talking about that, let's just take a look at the trailer.
Indian cinema, one of the most prestigious film industries in the history of the world. It's been the showcase for many legendary Indian characters. And now, मेरा नाम बेन है. तुम्हारा नाम क्या है?
So, who is he?
He was born and raised in India. He came here to the States due to some controversy over there.
TK, very good, Kick a mast!
Wow. So, Ben, you got any more family coming out?
Really? Wonderful. This is such great news.
Let's get started.
All right, well that looked very good. Could you give us like a brief overview of what that film is about?
Yeah. It's about an Anglo-Indian named Ben. He's born and raised in India, but his parents are from the West. So he's technically Indian, but he doesn't have the look of an Indian. And there's some controversy that goes on in India that he's involved with. And this basically causes him to be exiled out of the country. And he tries to start a new life in America and just meets new people, and that's basically the gist of it.
Where did Anglo-Indian, is that actually a...
Yeah, that's
is.
a real
Okay.
thing.
Alrighty, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Where did the idea for a film like this even come from?
Oh gosh. Well, it all started from it was spring of 2014. I made a little Facebook web series of this character, and it all started. It's just one weekend. I was just really bored, and I just wanted to make a short little video, but I wasn't really sure what to make it on. And I was just kind of like just walking around the house trying to find inspiration or something.
So was this like the beginning of you making films then? I mean, had you made a lot of films
I've made
before?
a few shorts beforehand, like for class projects and stuff, but this was just the first ever thing I was just doing just for the fun of it, I guess.
So it started out as like just a short little thing that you were doing. Did you ever intend for it to become this big? And if not, then why did you decide that it needed to be a feature-length film?
No, I never thought it'd ever come to this. It all started off as just, like I said, I was walking around my house looking for inspiration. I looked in my closet and I saw that golden kurta that he always wears. And I honestly don't remember where I got that from. I think it's my girlfriend or one of her friends or something. But I saw that. I was like, okay, yeah, I'll use this for something. And I was just thinking, like, all right, India, like Bollywood. And I was like, you know what? I've been trying to learn Hindi the last couple days, but all I know is like movie titles. So when I talk, I just like shout out movie titles and try to have a conversation based on that. So I was thinking like all the movie titles I knew, like it's like Dil Ta Pagal Hai, which means the heart is crazy. And so basically I was just going to record myself in that costume talking to an American version of myself. I'm going to just like shout out random Bollywood titles, make it come off like a dialogue. And I'm going to show like, I think it's like 4 or 5 Indian friends who were teaching me all this stuff. I was going to post that on Facebook and show them. And when I did it, like, I got like such good reviews from them, and like, but all my other friends and everybody else on Facebook was like commenting like, man, this is really funny, like you should make more. Like, so 12 episodes later,
And then, okay.
What was it like, that transition from web series to film? Did it actually make things easier because you had a well-rounded character of Indian Ben?
Yeah, those episodes were all on the spot. I didn't have a script or anything. I was just making them up as I was going. And for this, I can do cuts and actually have a script and actually know where I want the story to go. I'm just not like, all right, today I'm just gonna like put a helmet on and ride a scooter or whatever. Like now, like I know like how to build everything up to the climax of the movie and stuff.
And does Indian Ben, is he sort of an affirmation of yourself, really, or is he just another character of your own? Like, do you notice any like personality traits similar to Indian Ben to yourself?
A few. I mean, like him, I really like Bollywood films and like Indian culture and that. And I'm just a really goofy guy and fun to get around with. And
this time though, it sounds like whenever you first started, it was mainly just you in the film, maybe with some of your other Indian friends. This time, well, first off, how many different people are involved with your film so far?
Right now there's about 56, but that number is going to be growing. So
Only 56.
Yeah. My largest cast before that was 8, so this is
That's like how
this
big
is like a
that-
huge deal, like for me. Anyway.
Well, how are you? I mean, outside of this interview, we've been. For those of you who don't know, I've been helping him. I've been helping film in different ways. I've been running the camera, things like that. So I'm a little bit aware of what the project's been like. I know you and I have been going up and back and forth to Champaign. We just went there yesterday, actually. But Champaign has played a big part in Champaign, Illinois. If you're watching from out of state, it's played a big part in the making of this film, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, in what way? I mean, like, are you getting your actors from up there, or?
Yeah, pretty much. The entire cast is from Champaign.
Really, that's a lot of travel for you.
Yeah, well, you gotta do what you gotta do, man.
I know the reason, or what you told me about Champaign was this Champaign movie maker.
Mm-hmm.
So, kind of how has that been working for you? How much of a help has that been for you?
Honestly, I probably wouldn't be making this movie if it wasn't for that page. Champaign Movie Maker and Champaign Casting Call. Those are two great Facebook groups I highly recommend for any indie filmmaker or actor out there wanting to, get into the film business. Like, those are definitely two sites I'd look up if you're from the area.
Yeah, I mean, I make my own films, and you told me about that, so I've started using it too. And yeah, it has been a great tool. And Champaign has turned out to be a great area for all sorts of different.
It's like
reasons.
a little Hollywood.
Yeah, it is. It's a little film mecca in sort of the cornfields of Illinois. But didn't your furthest? Well, I know we'll be going up to Chicago soon.
Yes.
But outside of that, didn't someone recently came out of Missouri, right?
I had somebody who was from St. Louis, but unfortunately it didn't work out.
I thought that Steve Montana.
Oh, he's from Springfield.
Weren't there Missouri license plates on their car?
I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Maybe
Never mind.
maybe that was
We'll cut
Vicky.
this one out of the.
Maybe that was Vicky's car.
I think it was.
Yeah.
But I thought she's involved. Did you see where? Well, I know you did. Where she's involved with Midwest Hustle.
Yeah.
Hustler.
That might be. I don't know. Steve's from Springfield though.
A couple things I noticed in the trailer. One that I noticed in the trailer, it looked like some of the voices were out of sync.
Yes.
Is that more is that a purpose thing?
Yeah,
Did you do that
that's
purpose or?
intentional.
Okay. And what got you that influence? Just like from like Japanese filmmaking.
Yeah,
or?
and also I was watching a Bollywood movie dubbed in English, and it's kind of similar to what my movie was. Like this very like, the lips are just completely off, and I thought it'd be a nice touch since this is supposed to be like a tip of a hat to those 90s Bollywood films, late 80s Bollywood films, and
Well, something that people might be interested in, a little bit of behind the scenes info. What process do you use to capture the audio? Because it's different than what you don't do. Like what I do whenever I'm filming is like have a microphone and a camera, and they're both recording at the same time. And then whenever I'm editing, I have to take them and sync them together. But it is the same thing. My lips, you're hearing the audio from the shoot.
Yes.
But in your case, it's a little bit different.
Yes. I don't use boom mics for this or anything. All my audio is after the shoot, so pretty much for the actors, I'll shoot the scene and I'll huddle them up by the camera and play the scenes back and they show their dialogue. I'm like, all right, I need you to kind of repeat what you just said there in the same tone, the same pitch and everything, and sometimes I think it actually works out better because it gives them more opportunities to show more emotion in their voices and stuff. I know it helps me a lot because I have to try to talk in an Indian accent and I'm completely American, so this gives me more opportunities, kind of practice, very good, very good, very good.
So does that make it a little bit more complicated? Does that make it a little bit more complicated?
Oh, yes.
Okay, because I know that's most filmmakers will do that in a post-production thing. If a line didn't get delivered exactly the way they wanted, then they'll bring someone back in for post-production.
Yeah, this is something I would not recommend at all. I don't plan on doing this ever again as well.
Don't take any tips on filmmaking.
Don't do that unless you want to make a film like this where it's intentionally supposed to be really badly dubbed. And it's not just the voices, it's the ambient sounds as well. People walking, I have to put a microphone next to my feet. Like the sound of bangles, I gotta get a pair of keys and just dangle them in front of the microphone and stuff. And yeah, it's really a pain. But
well, on that note, how long has it taken you to film so far? Because you're almost done, right?
Yeah. I started in, I think it was mid-May. And my dream is to premiere the movie September 5th, which is my birthday. And I'm hoping by September this should be done. I think it will be.
So yeah, I'm a little bit familiar with that process because I did act a bit in this as well, and like I said, I have been helping you film it too. The shoot that I was involved with was the Man Tank shoot.
And this is the jacket he wears as well. As the juggler.
Yeah, I was the juggler. I was the infamous juggling bad guy. I juggled bombs. Although, I guess we can point out that those were actually tennis balls. Yeah. They weren't real. I didn't juggle real bombs. I'm not that confident with my skills. And I was playing. That scene involved Steve Montana and then Alexis Godby. I think is her last name.
Yes.
Three of us. It was filmed in Champaign at a park in a very nice neighborhood, and there were parents with their young children there watching us. Kind of describes what Steve Montana was wearing.
Yes. This is a very multicultural neighborhood, it appears. There was actually I think it was a Muslim woman as well, a Muslim couple. Drove by as we were shooting this as well.
Oh my God.
And basically, we had Steve on the back of a Ford truck, and you were driving in your juggler outfit, and I was on top of the bed or what, I don't know what to call
you were
it.
laying on the bed of the truck, on the top of the truck.
I was leaning like this with the camera, and Steve was in the back standing with him, holding an American flag, and we're driving down this neighborhood.
And we did that about 4 or 5 times. And that was one shot. Yeah. That was one shot out of that scene. That was not the scene.
And the neighbors, there was this old Asian, this Asian couple, this old Asian grandma and the daughter and mother just staring at us
yeah.
What is going on?
Although we did film that on the 4th of July, didn't we not? Or close to it?
No, it was pretty close to it.
There were American flags every place, so we kind of blended in.
Yeah.
But I mean, other parts of it, I remember, and you see it in the trailer. I'm dodging explosions.
Yeah.
Man Tank, to kind of explain, is the guy who's the hero, who when he goes like this, actual missiles come out of his hands. So I was dodging those, and we were doing that all in front of families.
It was at a public park with little kids around as well. They're watching us do this reenactment of an action scene.
Yeah, well, you don't really see that. Well, no, because you did add shots in of the park, but I mean,
I think I'm gonna cut those out though.
Oh, okay.
That part.
Yeah, that's a typical. Well, that's not really a typical scene.
And remember, we also did a close-up shot of Steve at the park doing like a chin up or something. He's like, yeah, he's like, ah! There's like this little kid who starts crying. You remember?
Well, no, yeah, no, everything's okay.
Yeah,
Everything's okay.
like,
We're just
scared
acting.
this little girl.
Man, please tell me you got that little girl crying into the scene.
No, well, I guess one of the challenges of filming is you really want to be careful not to get other people's kids.
Yeah,
in your
especially
shot.
children.
No
Yeah.
kidding. Just based on from what I'm seeing here, who are some directors who have actually influenced you with your films?
Not so much for this film because this isn't really I would consider my type of genre, but I think in general, John Carpenter, I'd say someone I could really relate to. He's just one of those guys that seems to like to put his finger on all phases of the production, whether it be directing and especially I like how he makes his own scores because I make my own scores as well, and we have kind of similar styles. They're really lo-fi, techno-y, synthesizer. I can't say that, man. But you know what I mean. Yeah. And this very like this grungy look to his films as well, and that's what I like about it.
Well, speaking of making your own music, you mentioned to me before that that's a bit what led you into making films in the first place. 'Cause, I mean, it's not like you know, whenever they asked you what you wanted to be whenever you were 3 or 4 years old, you told them, I want to be a filmmaker.
Yeah.
That kind of started for you somewhat recently, right?
Yeah.
How did that all take place?
2-3 years only.
Well, how did that all come about?
Yeah. So I just I think it was 2012. I went to Eastern Illinois University and I had no clue what I wanted to do. But at that time, I was really interested in making music, and I was making music, mostly electronic stuff, hip-hop type stuff. And so I was kind of looking for something that kind of complement that, because I didn't really want to be a music major, because that was more like playing actual instruments and stuff, like a tuba and stuff, and that's not my gig, and I'm more of the keyboard, like dorm room musician is kind of what it's called. So like I was kind of drawn to video production because I feel like, you know, maybe if I ever wanted to make a music video or something, like this could be something I could learn how to do. And as that semester went on, as I was learning about filmmaking and having to make my own projects as well, like it's like, man, this is really cool, man. Like, where have I been all my life, man? Like, this is what I want to do, and like, so it's kind of like that's where I found my path, I guess. And like I said, it's been kind of recently, 2 or 3 years, and it's one of the best things that ever happened to me. Like film, man, I just love it.
With this film, Indian Ben, did you have to do did you have to study up on a lot of Bollywood films in general, just sort of get an understanding of the style and what was presented?
Yes, I was actually a big fan before this movie, so that's kind of one of the things that motivate me to make the web series in the first place, because I had kind of a knowledge of Bollywood to begin with, but I had to watch a lot more movies, and like even now, like that's like all I watch. Listen to all the songs because I gotta stay, you know, in that mode, that Indian Ben mode. Like I can't kind of like get lukewarm about it because you gotta just keep that atmosphere. So that's like all I watch is like Bollywood movies, listen to Bollywood music, and so yeah, like I'm pretty much immersing myself in Bollywood in order to make this film.
So in that case, for people who may not know anything about Bollywood, maybe this is the first time they've heard that phrase. What are the main differences between a Bollywood film and a Hollywood film?
Well, Bollywood is it's based in Bombay, and that's where Bombay, Hollywood, Bollywood. So that's where that comes from, and it's the Indian version of Hollywood. And the differences are Bollywood movies are generally about 2.5 to like even 3.5 hours long, like that's the average, and they're all musicals basically. There's a few like here and there that kind of like more like edgier films, I guess, but they're all musicals, kind of very over the top. Most of them are like the dialogues are very melodramatic, and I don't know, I get, that's part of the culture as well. Like Indians in general are kind of more emotional people than Americans.
Well, and tell people why you know that.
My girlfriend, yeah,
He's not just assuming
Yeah,
this about
yeah,
Indian people.
yeah. I'm just not like, yeah, I'm not an outsider or anything. Well, I guess I kind of am an outsider, but like,
But you have some insight.
I've kind of been adopted
Yeah.
into Indian culture, like through my girlfriend, friends. I've been close friends the last 5 or 6 years, and so
Something that interested me is that you told me that soon, actually, you're going to be going to Mississippi
yes,
to film scenes that are supposed to take place
In India.
in India.
Yes.
So Mississippi looks similar to India, you're told, or have you've been there, right?
yeah. It's a mixture of like Mississippi. It's a really hot place and really sunny and all whatnot, and also my girlfriend and her friends are down there as well, and they're all Indian, Bangladesh, Sri Lankan, I think. And so basically, what I need is just a mob of angry Indians to play in the movie, and so I couldn't really find anything up here, so I'm gonna go all the way down there, and it should be a good time.
Can we expect a music number in Indian Ben?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Actually,
Hey, Matt. No, you weren't.
I was
You had to
there,
leave
but-
right before that part.
yeah. But if you look at the trailer again, there's scenes where
Yeah.
you see them dancing.
Yeah.
And in fact, we filmed one scene of you playing cricket with your real life family.
Yeah.
But I mean, and there was actually some dancing involved with that too. It's hard to explain how you work dancing into a cricket scene. I won't even try. There's dancing in this film.
One other thing that sort of crossed my mind with you being, Indian Ben in the movie and directing. What kind of do you have any problems with that, or does that add
Yeah.
some complications?
That's such a huge pain. Like, like thankfully, like
Just from being critical of yourself, or how so?
Because when I play actor and director at the same time, especially when you're the main star, it's even more complicated because you're always in front of the camera. So, I mean, there's
It's the
times
same-
where Matt, he like really saves me because he's behind the camera. He can kind of tell me what's going on, but through a lot of it, like it's only me. Like I'm operating camera, I'm doing lighting, I'm doing everything. And so I kind of have to like go back and forth. Like I gotta keep breaking character to go behind the camera and whatnot, and make sure the frames are good and everything. And it's just, yeah, it's tedious.
We've been helping each other with our films, and it's always good to have someone there to run the camera because
Yeah.
you can do 5 shots and then realize that one of the actors' heads was barely out of frame,
Yeah,
or you don't realize that until you get back home and you're like, wow,
yeah,
gonna have to do that again.
yeah.
And I'm just wondering, Ben, you use social media pretty heavily.
Yes.
To stay connected with the people acting in the film, to show clips, to things like that, to keep people up to date.
Yeah.
You use it a lot to find people. I feel like what you're doing with your film and what I'm doing with my film and what a bunch of people in this area are doing with their film, this rural area, people are pretty spread out. A lot of it wouldn't be possible 5, 6, 7 years ago.
Yeah.
Do you think that, in your experience, how has the internet, social media, how has filmmaking seemed to change for small film producers here? I mean, everyone seems to have their own production company. That didn't used to be the case.
Yeah, that's a definitely another big thing for me. Because not only can you kind of branch out locally, like internationally as well, or like nationwide. Like, because I've sent like casting calls to like St. Louis, Nashville, Louisville, Indianapolis, Chicago. So you can get your name out pretty easily on social media, where in the past, like, you'd have to have like connections and stuff, and because you couldn't just like call random people, hey, like, my name's Ben Hoene, I'm a director from Illinois, like, here's my information and whatnot. Like now, like with Facebook pages like Facebook, these like different casting call groups and stuff, you can just post a link to your work and stuff, and like, hi, my name's Ben Hoene, here's a few examples of my work, just post a few videos, and if you're interested, just shoot me a PM and see if we can make something. And so it's definitely helps out people like us.
And on that note, me and Matt were talking on the Cinema Symposium a few days ago, and we were basically talking about the idea that Dustin Hoffman made this quote, and said this quote where he said, "I think right now television is at its best that it's ever been, and I think that it's the worst time for film that it has ever been. In the 50 years that he's been doing it, it's the worst." What do you think about that? The idea that sort of film is sort of dying off at the moment, or at its sort of a standstill rather than television.
Yeah, I agree. Like, you guys made a video about like reboots, I think, like Back to the Future one, like how like people just like it's lazy writing. Like people just want to take like successful movies from the past and just like give them a makeover instead of coming up with an original Back to the Future, like you said. Like the original content's gone. Like we're just like taking stuff, like successful stuff from the past, and just like I said, like give them a makeover and whatnot, because it's a quick buck. Those films already have a strong fan following, so you know they're gonna come to the theater. You're gonna put butts in the seat, and it's all about money now. And sorry, I also want to make like for indie directors as well. I think like the accessibility for indie makers to make films is more easier now, but that also could be good and bad as well, because the good is like, you know, more people have a shot to make movies and get their name out, but the bad thing is like just any old random person can make a movie now, and it kind of clutters the space for people like me and Matt, because now like there's so much competition in the indie market because everybody can make their film now, and I think that's another thing that
whereas before you may have been a small fish in a big sea some years ago, and now you're a small fish with a bunch of other small fish.
Yeah, you got really stand out now.
But I mean, on the note of like just originality, Indian Bin is probably one of the more original things I've ever seen someone try to make. Would not have I doubt you would have taken that idea to Hollywood and sold it to anyone. So one good thing about people having access to the means of production for film is, you know, I think we will see some more original content coming out. Hopefully, I mean, look at we talked about the movie Pixels.
Yeah,
coming from a YouTube video.
And that was a movie that I'm somewhat excited for. But it's just one of those things where my theory is the reason why people are thinking this and where movies aren't as good as they used to be and TV is better than movies essentially right now, is because movies are having a tough time within like a 2-hour time span of rounding out their characters and making someone actually feel some emotion for the characters in the movie, while television shows have 12 episodes to do that,
or more. And it's interesting. Something I've thought about a lot is I have a friend actually someone I know via online only, who's over towards near India. He's actually an actor and a successful actor. He had a small part in Slumdog Millionaire, and he was in the movie $1 Million Arm with John Hamm.
Oh, cool.
And his name is Madhur Mittal, and he is he was at least starting his own YouTube channel, production company type of thing. And in conversations with him in the past, I recall we talked about this idea that like the rebirth of the short film. So in other words, short films, for those of you who are maybe just coming, you know, who don't follow this as closely as we do, for the longest time have been aspiring filmmakers' vehicle to get access to Hollywood to make feature films. And that's kind of what they were for. They weren't, and they still aren't necessarily seen by large numbers of people. You send them to film festivals. You try to get people to like it there. Maybe a production company says, "Hey, that's a good idea. That could be a good feature film." Then maybe it gets made into a feature film. Probably not. But what if short films became just as popular as feature films, and you could have several short films and call it a web series, you know? But so with things like Netflix, there was the time frame on a film, this early silent films was probably what an average short film is today, 15, 20 minutes, less even. For instance, I just watched on Netflix the original silent film of Journey to the Moon.
Oh, I saw that.
And it's like 15 minutes long. Mm-hmm. So what if something like Netflix, or you create your own website, your own production company website, where you have your films on there. I mean, I could see short films becoming really popular again. I didn't know if you guys thought about that, but that's kind of where my head's been lately.
I think it's very possible, and especially through an outlet like Netflix, I can see that being very possible as well, because they'd probably treat it the same as they do sometimes indie films or other films that they put on there, where it's just more content for people to eat up and look at. I mean, someone's gonna watch it. Essentially, someone's gonna come across something or get bored of a movie or TV show on there and be like, "Oh."
And it's also
this
like
looks
less
different.
commitment from the viewer. Like
Exactly.
if you go to a 2-hour movie, like you gotta like.
You gotta commit.
Yeah, but if it's like 15 minutes, like, oh, I got time for that. I can watch a few of these.
That's a YouTube video essentially today. Like YouTube videos.
Yeah,
go on
15,
for
20 minutes.
Yeah.
Like
YouTube is another good way, probably.
I think there's like a stat like the average YouTube view, like gets like 3 seconds before they lose interest. So
Yeah, well,
you got to get their attention like within
get
like
3 minutes.
3 to 10 seconds.
Yeah.
On average.
It's the analytics you can look at for your YouTube videos. Since we've been posting ours, it'll actually tell you like what country people are watching from, which is really cool.
I know.
The gender of the person somehow.
We have mostly women.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that out.
You have to check out this YouTube thing, Ben. It's starting to become a big thing.
YouTube.
Yeah, it's the word you.
Right.
Y-O-U, not the letter.
Oh, okay.
Not just the letter. That was already taken, probably. But no, you get to see how the average length of time someone watches your video. So if you're posting a 10-minute video and someone's like, this says the average is 2 or 3 minutes. I mean, so you just know how long people are watching it. But yeah, that also the idea of like going to Netflix, like say you take your film or I take my film and put it on my website, and someone on Netflix sees it and says we want to put that on Netflix. You know how direct that is to like suddenly having like the world's most massive audience.
Yes.
Whereas the old model, there were so many ways in which a good filmmaker, a good storyteller could fail that weren't even in their hands.
Yeah.
Like you send your screenplay into this thing and it's read by someone who's read 10 others that day and they just want to get home to eat dinner and they throw it. And maybe that was a really good screenplay. Or, then you make your short film and there's just so many steps along the way in the past to where it wasn't even in your control and it could screw up your chances to become successful.
Yes.
Whereas now if you put it on YouTube, it gets a lot of views and it's made into a movie. Like,
Yeah.
it's fascinating to me.
And one of my last questions is everything that goes through you have a website called Hoene Productions. What's that about?
I don't have an official website yet. I have a Facebook page. It's called Hoene Productions.
Okay,
That's
you
kind
got a Facebook page, right?
Yeah, it's kind of my business on the side.
Okay.
I don't have any more questions.
Yeah, neither do I. Well, on that note, thank you, Ben, for coming along.
for having me.
Really appreciate it. And I'm Blake Warman.
And I'm Matthew Duvall.
And I'm Ben Hoene, aka Indian Ben. Ha ha ha! Very good, very good. Ta ta ta.
And like us and subscribe on Cinema Symposium. And we're signing off.